Hello!
Hello, AOS fans!
It's the Agents of Wyrdhollow.
And in this video, we are having a look at the Headsmen's Curse.
Ooh.
New warband.
New warband.
New undead warband.
New spooky warband.
Which is not your favourite flavour of undead, is it? You like the skeletal ones more?
Yeah, and it's another 4-fighter ghostly warband.
That's overpowered.
Yeah, that's massively overpowered. Spoiler alert, yes. We're just going to be going through the warband very quickly to give you our thoughts and opinions on them. We're not going to go too much into the detail of the cards themselves because people have gone through those in great depth already.
Yeah,
GW
Path to Glory will have done it. GW nearly always do it, and yeah, we found that people don't really watch that content when we make it, so we're just going to give you a quick overview of what we think of them. We've had 2 games with them, and I was playing with the new deck, voidcursed thrall deck, which there will be another video for about, and you were playing with these guys, and I played Magors and the Sons of Velmor for an undead double clash.
Yep.
And basically don't play against them with fighters that need to hit.
It's tricky, yeah. It's very, very tricky to judge on the games that we've played because they feel incredibly powerful. They've got a 5, a 4, a 3 and a 2 wound fighter. So they've got a good spread there, but when they're inspired they all go up to 2 dodge, and the big guy himself is terrifying at 5 wounds. He's
5 wounds and he's 3 damage off the bat. And you can very easily get to 4 damage.
Yep.
Which basically one-shots about 95% of the Underworld's world.
Yep.
Which is terrifying. And then the Bearer of the Block's pretty good too.
Yep, yeah, he has 4 wounds and he goes up to 3 damage when he's inspired, and there's a +1 damage card for him as well, so he can go up to 4 damage.
It's nuts. So I think they're really strong. Their inspiration mechanic is interesting. So they have a plot card.
They do have a plot card. The Headsmen's Curse. Basically, if a fighter with a condemn counter would be given a condemn counter, they don't get any more, so they can only ever have 1. But when an enemy fighter with a condemn counter is taken out of action, you gain 1 condemn counter. So for every person you kill, you gain a condemn counter, if they have one. But also, if a friendly fighter's attack takes an adjacent target out of action, so it can't be from range, if they're adjacent to you, you gain 1 for each of the following that are true. If the attack action was supported, which there's movement shenanigans in it to enable you to create that.
Make somebody supported even if they're not in a supported position.
And if the target was a large fighter, now there's a card in there that makes somebody a large fighter, which is quite cool, but also most warbands tend to at some point get a large fighter, so in those situations you'll get multiple condemned counters. In the 2 games we've played, you've inspired very easily. Very quickly, yes.
And just wrecked face.
They're absolutely terrifying. The big guy has an ability to bring your other fighters back.
Yeah.
When he kills somebody, if you've got fighters out of action, they can be brought back, which is pretty nasty. And yeah, the deck just seems to all work together. There are cards in there to help you get condemn counters. There are cards in there to help you support people, to help move them around. You're getting glory for killing people. You're getting glory for putting condemn counters on people. It just feels like a very easy deck to win with.
It did certainly. You scored highly in both games.
High teens in both of the games, I think.
You shed a bit of glory, though. They're very hard to kill. I think in both games, I think I barely killed anybody, and then you brought them back. Yeah. Which is just rude.
It's soul destroying when you finally manage to kill someone, because with the 2 dodge and quite often getting supports and stuff, it's so horrible to then watch them come back again, and you're like, I've got to kill them all over again, because they've got a card that will just bring someone back, and you've got the leader's ability to bring them back when they kill somebody. Poor old Sepulchral Warden, he can only dream of abilities like that one.
Absolutely. So I think these are going to really mix up the meta. Their deck seems very good. We haven't tried it with any other Nemesis format yet, so we'll see what other cards they go well with.
I'd be really pressed to get rid of a lot of the cards.
Right, okay, I mean,
there's a lot of cards to give you condemn counters. You only need 3 to inspire, but there are other things in there, other objectives around people with condemn counters. So even once you've got the 3, you do still want to try and get condemn counters onto people. Yeah. For those objectives, assuming you just take the deck as it is. But there's plenty of ways to do that, because you've got the scripter. He alone has an attack that gives someone a condemn counter, even if he doesn't hit. Even if he misses, that's still. I feel like that should be a case of a successful attack. Should put a condemn counter on him.
And it's a range attack as well, isn't it?
It's range 3, yeah. So there's also a card upgrade for him, which means when he makes that attack, he can just do it again a second time.
Yeah, I remember that. You played that in the Velmor game.
Yeah.
Those games are available to patrons.
Yep.
It's kind of a new thing we're trying out. So the raw files go on there. So if you want to see those, you do have to be a Patreon member. So do consider looking at our Patreon options. A link in the description below.
Yep. Having said all that, I think that they can be quite vulnerable if you take out the big lad.
Yeah, I was playing the voidcursed, and we'll talk about that in the other video, but there were reasons not to try and go after him because I needed to score hits and take people out of action and things, and he's obviously hard to take out of action in one go. Maybe in hindsight I should have just tracked him down and gone after him, especially, interestingly, again we'll talk about the voidcursed, but the voidcursed has a way of dropping the defense dice down.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Because he starts with 5 wounds and 2 dodge, and there is a +1 wound card in there that can be put on him, so that puts him up to 6 wounds. That's a lot. That's a lot of wounds on this guy. And considering he moves 4 or 5 when he's inspired, he's not the most appealing of targets to go for. But I do think that the key to taking this warband out of action is to take him out of action. I know that's kind of a bit like saying, the best way to defeat Mollog is to kill Mollog. But I feel like... Yeah,
smack, and he kind of does the same. Only the bear of the block can also come up behind you and smack you over the head as well.
Yes.
So I think they're tough. I think they're going to take some beating. I think you're going to see lots of people play them. We ought to play them against the new Cinch warband because I think that's very strong too.
FLM are very strong right out the door, and just those two up against each other could be quite a matchup. I feel. Yeah.
One thing is worth mentioning, if you start some of these warbands now, there are a lot of tokens.
Yeah.
And you find suddenly you've got condemned tokens, and if you're playing against the Voidcursed, they have their tokens. And it just got
with the Prince of Elmorn, there's his command token thing.
It got very tokeny, very confusing. We started to wish we didn't just have little random coloured bits of card. Yeah. So I almost feel like a set of tokens that actually have written down what they say on it would be useful. I'm sure.
You might be able to produce something like that. Versatile terrain.
Oh yes, do check them out. Yep.
So I think overall these guys, they have ways
of making you talk.
Yes, they do. I think the best way to try and beat them is to stay away from them, because all the time they're not collecting those condemned counters. They're going to find it very hard to inspire.
Yeah, true.
They're still quite nasty uninspired.
They're quite quick.
And they're not slow. They're all move 4, which is just disgusting. I don't know why they get a move of 4 as well, on top of everything else. Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm clutching at straws to find things that are bad about them. They're just good. The deck's good. The fighters are good. The models are quite nice.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything to say about them, really.
Somehow we managed to make a 5-minute video.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. Let us know whether you're going to play them, if you've spotted any weaknesses in them, and we're going to continue to play them. I think we probably will try them in a Nemesis situation.
Yep.
And we'll see you soon, somewhere on the Ages of Sigmar.
So don't forget, as always, to like, subscribe and ring that bell.
And you can, of course, check us out on Patreon too.
So we'll see you soon in the Wyrdhollow.